Tuesday. All right, so we're going to just find, oh, wait, I need to share, don't I? Oh, gosh, I didn't do that. Sorry. Too many things to get right here. All right, so this is all on Google Classroom. I don't think you need to certainly download it because it's out your textbook. But we're starting with not the first page of chapter 3. So I can tell you the page where we are. We've jumped a little bit. We're on page 109. Okay, if you want to have your textbooks open, we're on page 109. All right, so in financial maths, everything that you've learned in grade 10 and 11 obviously is important. And so there is a little revision exercise on page 73, which I would strongly recommend that you just go through that and see that there's nothing that you're unsure of, because we're going to presume you know all that. So we're not going to go through it now, but there is the, where it is, exercise 3.1, and that's revision from the last 2 years. All right, but we're going to start with calculating f for n. I told you one of the applications of logarithms is that it'll help us to find out the number of time periods that money takes to grow. And so that's what we're going to start with today, just because it links with what we've done and it's simple. So the first example we're going to do is up here. Matthew deposits 4,000 Rand in a savings account, pays 10% per annum, compounded annually. How long will it take for the savings to double? So in the past, if we've done anything like this where we've had to find n, we've had to do it by trial and error, but now we've got a method. All right, so you're doing the work. You're going to solve for n now for me, please, in a compound interest formula. Hopefully you all know that. Many of you do accounting, so it should be a breeze. Okay, but you all need to be writing. You all need to be doing it. You can't just look at it, and please don't just look at your textbook, because then there's no point at all. Okay, when you've got an answer, you can go on to part B while we wait for everyone. But it's a nice, easy start to finance. Now, have you all disappeared for coffee, or are you actually doing it?
We're doing it, ma'am.
Sure. Yeah. That's Declan.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. And did Luke come to the lesson? Luke?
Yeah, I'm here, ma'am. I'm here, ma'am.
Okay, Chetsa? Vasily? And Dante? Okay. If any of those three arrive, won't you tell me, because I can't see once I share my screen. Okay, should be done. Are you done?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, nice little compound interest formula. So we just remind ourselves what that is. What is it? 1 plus I to the n. Okay, sorry, I can't write very well today. All right, here in this one, just remember they don't have to tell you that they started with 4,000 Rand. If they say money is doubled, they could just say if your money is doubled. And we had that in one of our sequence problems, where that volume problem in one of your checkpoints, right, where they didn't give you the volume of the first one or the first tank, and then you just let it be X. So if they hadn't given you the 4,000 Rand, you would just let it be X. Don't say, well, let's assume he starts with 100 Rand. So just remember that. Okay, so your money is doubled, so you're going to get 8,000 Rand. You started off with your principal amount. The amount that you first invested was 4,000 Rand. Your interest rate is 10% and it's compounded annually. So it's 0.10 divided by 1. And n is going to be your number of years. Right? So this whole thing gives you 2 equals 1 plus 0.10 all to the n. All right, and this is where we need logs. We're solving for an exponent. And so what is n going to equal? It's going to be the log of, the base is 1.1 of the number 2. All right, and what is your answer for that?
7,2725.
Okay, so it's just over 7 years. If they want it in years and months, okay, this is going to be in years, but if they want it in years and months, how would you work out how many months it would be?
Take 0,2725 times 12.
Okay, you take that by 12 and you'll get number of months, if they want it like that. Otherwise, it is sufficient to leave it as number of years. So you can work out number of months. Okay, so really simple. So in B, same investment, but now the interest is compounded more regularly, compounded half yearly. So now let's work out how long it will take for the investment to double. All right, and there are 2 things to bear in mind here. So I'm just going to move it up. Just have to take that off. Okay, and we're just going to move it up. And there are 2 ways of doing this. If you just stick to the same formula that we've just had, and you just use A equals P into 1 plus I to the n, when you're working out n, what will n give you?
Two
The number of
times
years.
Number of?
Years.
It'll give you the number of half years.
Of half years. Okay, so bear that in mind. When you work out n, if you stick to that formula, it will give you number of half years. What is the other alternative you could use?
To the power of 2n.
2n. And then that would give you number of years. So you must choose which one suits you. You can use either. But this one, this n would give you number of half years. This n would give you a number of years. And you must choose the route you want to take. All right, so if you'll do that right for me, please.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yes.
For the second one, A equals P brackets 1 plus I to the power of 2n. Do we not divide it by 2 because of
Yeah.
how many times it's been
We're going to do that in both of
half-
them for the I.
Yeah, for the
So,
I, ma'am.
so let's say you invested this for 5 years. Let's say 5 years. You wouldn't put 5 up here. You would have put 2 times 5. You would have put 10 half years.
Yeah.
Whereas here, all right, if you leave this answer here, you would get you must get 10 from this, which would be number of half years. So the n's represent different things in these 2 questions. These are time periods related to how often the interest is compounded. So if you stick to this one and you go 8,000 equals 4,000 into 1 plus 0.10 divided by 2 all to the n, right? So you're going to get 2 equals 1 plus 0.1 divided by 2 all to the n, and then you're going to use n equals the log of that bracket to the 2. That is going to give you number of half years. Okay, so how do you get number of years? You divide by 2. Yeah. So then n over 2 would give you number of years. And that's a perfectly sound solution. In this formula, you would put your 8,000 equals 4,000. So you would get 2 if you divided A divided by P into 1 plus 0,10 divided by 2. But now if you're going to get 2n, this n represents number of years. So you're going to get 2n equals log of that bracket of 2. So 2n equals that answer, and those two answers would be the same. So n would equal that answer divided by 2. Yeah, which will give you the number of years. You get to the exact same answer. It's just how you handle it. And you must decide. I can't decide which one suits you. Many people choose this option on the right so that n always represents number of years. And if that suits you, then that's what you must do. Obey, am I making sense?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Everybody? Who chose the left? Did some of you do this the way on the left?
Yeah, I did it that way.
Are you fine with it? Are you fine with that? I must admit, I've always done it that way, but the right is often what students, the way the students prefer. Okay, and you should have all, I mean, I'm sure you compared your answer. Well, you can't, you're not together. Your answer, you should have got 7, number of years was 7,1033. Is that right?
I think so, yes, ma'am.
And then you must work out number of months. So you're going to say 0,1033 times 12 will give you number of months.
Ma'am, I just have a quick question with regards to that. So, doesn't it compound every semi-annual term? So, wouldn't you only get over double your amount at 7,5 years? If that makes sense.
You probably, yeah. You see, you being the, yeah. So then you just leave it, yeah.
So, ma'am, for example, for A, wouldn't the final answer be after 8 years? Because it only compounds every year. And on the 7th year, you don't have double your amount.
Yes, probably. But I promise you, you see, you're getting more technical than core maths. It's because you're an accounting student, aren't you? Are you? No. No. Okay. I see exactly what you're saying, Nick, but you just leave the answer as the answer that you get there, because after 8 years, you're going to have more than double your money.
Yeah.
You're going to have more than 8,000 Rand. So your money would actually double somewhere in between 7 and 8 years, if that makes sense. So at the end of 8 years, so they have to choose their numbers correctly if you want to make perfect sense, if you know what I mean. Because at the end of 8 years, you're going to have more than double your money. And at the end of 7.5 years here, you're going to have more than double your money. So you don't make it more technical than, yeah, because money is not compounded. Very seldom in any investment is money compounded yearly. And
Yes,
you think most investments are monthly or daily even. So yeah, don't I agree with everything that you're saying, but you would actually have more than double your money at the end of 8 years, more than double your money at the end of 7.5. Just leave it as 7,103. Just give the answer that is given there. Okay. Yeah.
And ma'am, lastly, when you find your months, you get like 1,24 months. Would you round off, or would you just say that?
Yeah, then you would probably say 2 months.
Okay, cool. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. I see in the textbook they said 1 month, but yeah, again, Nick, just think about that, because if you invest your money and interest rate is compounded every year, but you took your money out before the year is up, you would still get interest for the 6 months or the 8 months that it was. You wouldn't get no interest for that. So leave your answer as it is here.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not going to get no interest for that money.
Yes, ma'am. Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, last one. Depreciation. Okay, so you've bought a car, because it's always cars that depreciate. Cars and computers. Right? And remember, in depreciation, you'll see some of the homework examples on reducing balance and on straight line depreciation. So just to remind you about that. But in depreciation, or certainly in for core maths, it's only compounded once a year. 8% per annum. It's annual. So fairly easy. If you'll do this one for me, please. Just remember what your depreciation formula is. Here it is. Okay, it should be quite easy. Oh, what's 0.8, eh?
Ma'am, isn't it 0.08?
Yeah. Yes. Problem here. Just get that. Yes, sorry. You get 9/20, is that right? Better check.
Yes, ma'am.
So n is log to that base. I'm not going to put that in at 9/20. And what was n?
9,5765. Continue on.
9,5. What? 9,57?
Go out. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So that's how long it takes to depreciate. Okay. So guys, that is today's. I don't go yet. So, all right. So there are two things, parts of today's homework. Do one or two from the revision exercise, please, just to remind yourself of grade 10 and 11. And then I've put what you need to do from exercise at the bottom of this. So exercise 3.11, page 111, the last 5, D, E, F, G, H, please. Now this for Tuesday, so you need to do it long before Monday so that you can concentrate on AP. Then on Tuesday, we'll start with annuities. And that's what we've got 4 days to do: future value annuities, present values annuities, and outstanding balance. But it should be fine. It should all go fine. Just make sure your calculators are with you on Tuesday. You get to class on time and we'll get through it all. Okay. Then I won't do I won't go over the test on Monday. I'll rather be available for anyone who needs some AP help on Monday. But on Tuesday, we'll find an afternoon just for an hour where I will go through the inverse test for anyone who wants to go through it. But it won't be in a lesson, if that's okay. All right, guys. So you've got a few minutes now. You've certainly got 15 minutes now, and I bet you could probably do most of that homework, and then it's done, and you can concentrate on AP or the quiz. Okay, have you all taken the homework? Can I stop sharing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks. And then can I just ask Everybody who's arrived? First of all, Chetsa, did you arrive?
I'm here, man.
You're there, great. Vasily? And Dante?
Yes, ma'am.
Dante's there. Just Vasily. Is Vasily okay? I wonder, did he leave a message on the group? Okay, I'll write to him. Let me just see. Okay. John, that is so not true. Okay, let's stop recording. Okay, so thanks guys. Let me just stop recording while you're all writing these things.